Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're talking about my signature luxury blue eyeshadow look. According to some, I am known as the blue eyeshadow queen here on YouTube, and I thankfully and respectfully accept that crown. A few weeks ago, Sophia Sees Beauty tagged me in this new tag of hers called like the signature luxury makeup look, and we were messaging back and forth, and she had a blue eyeshadow look in mind for me, which makes sense. So that's today's video. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. So I certainly do have quite a few luxury blue eyeshadows in my collection. Today I'm going to use a handful with other eyeshadows too to create my signature blue eyeshadow look. First of all, we're going to start off with a basic and not blue at all. This is the Chanel Grandeur et Expérience. So you're going to want to use some sort of very neutral matte. Matte is important color here. I'm going into this one here. This is almost the same color as my eyelids. Eyelids have been primed off camera, and we're going to go in quite liberally all over the lid and also in the crease here, because we want to add some matte, more neutral color in the crease. And because I have hooded eyes, I am bringing this up a little bit higher. If your eyes are not hooded, you have more real estate, so you can maybe see more of this blue shadow a little bit higher up. But I'm just taking it just like this basically, and a little bit on the bottom. This is a big fluffy brush. This is the Refer 16. All the brushes that I'm using, all the products that I'm using, my bodysuit that I'm wearing, everything is listed in the description box down below. So just go ahead and have a look. So this color here, the lightest color from this quad, is basically like my flesh tone. It's basically the same color. So go ahead and use something like that. And even if you're not very precise with it, it's not that big of a deal because it is basically just your skin tone. Now going into a much more tapered brush, I'm going into this second color here, which is darker, but it's not too dark. And this is going just in the crease here. So I'm keeping my eyes open because they're hooded, and I'm going in the crease like this. And you want to make sure that this brush here is more tapered and much smaller. You can see here, these are very different shapes. So we're just going to place this color just like that. If you would be interested in seeing my entire blue eyeshadow collection of luxury eyeshadows, leave a comment. I could do like a blue and green eyeshadow video. Let me know if you want to see that down below, because I have talked about more neutral colors. I talked about like the best neutral colors from Dior recently, which went over really well. But if you want to see something extra in the blue and green category, let me know. And then going back in with my big fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend this out very lightly. It did add some definition, not a ton. Now we're going to go in softly into this one here. Oops, this one. And this one here is much darker. So we're knocking some off. And then we're just placing it in the crease here. And I'm going back into my original big fluffy brush. I'm not adding anything to this brush. It's just the residual lightest shade on here. That's just blending this darker color. And at this point, you can go as dark as you want. Listen, you could go with a black if you wanted to. Just going in lightly like this. And I'm going to take what is left here and go on the bottom lashes too. I'm going into a bit of lip treatment as we're doing this. This is the Givenchy Rose Perfecto Liquid Lip Balm, and this is the shade 001. I love this so much. I'm actually hitting pan in a way of this tube here. And this is like, think of a chapstick. This is it liquefied. It's wonderful. and it has a beautiful color too. And I think that this pink will be gorgeous for our finished look at the end. Now, if you wanted a very simple and elegant neutral eye look, you could stop right here, but that is not today's video. Now we're getting into the blues. So first off, I'm starting with a Sisley single eyeshadow, one of my favorites of all time. This is number 23 Silky French Blue. And fun fact, if I were a drag queen, I think my drag queen name would be Silky French Blue. Now I'm going into another brush here. Make sure that you do your eyes first. We are going into some dark blue dramatic colors, and I'm a firm believer of eyes first and then the base afterwards. Most of these shadows won't have that much fallout, but even if they do, blue looks terrible when it falls out on your concealer. It looks like dark circles, basically. It's the worst color to fall out. So going into this one here, I'm just packing this little brush. And we are going to sweep this all over the lid. This finish is satin. It isn't sparkly, it isn't a chunky glitter. It's satiny and beautiful. And I happen to think that anyone can wear a blue eyeshadow look. Obviously, certain people may not wear this to work. Because of my profession, YouTuber, makeup artist, makeup fanatic, I could wear this to work every day and no one would really care. But I understand if this is maybe not something office appropriate for some, but I do think that there is a power with blue eyeshadow because it is just so evocative, it's so dramatic, it sort of commands attention, and it really is a statement look. It says, I know it's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and I'm wearing blue eyeshadow. So what? Going into this exact same color, I'm going into a different brush. This one is shaped like this. This is the BK Beauty 203. And this one here you could use to apply color, but also blend, which is what we're doing. And I'm not going all the way into the corner. Even if you do, it's really not that big of a deal. So we're just going to sweep some here, and now this one here you actually can go into the crease and just bring this up a tiny bit into the crease so we can see it a little bit higher up here. And I am getting a bit of fallout here. We knew it was going to happen. That's fine, we can clean this up in a minute. I'm switching mirrors because this is tiny, I can barely see my eyeball. Let me just go into this one here for a second. So again, I'm keeping my eyes open like this, like relaxed, like normal. And I'm just taking this blue up a little bit higher so we can see it a bit more. I would say that blue eyeshadow requires some patience. Now I'm dipping into this even more fine tapered brush. It's more fine than the one that I used before. This one here is the gray one is an Angie Hot and Flashy A504. And this one here is great for precision in the crease, and it's more dense. So it's not going to just blow everything everywhere. It's just going to concentrate the color just a little bit. And you know, blue eyeshadow does take a bit of patience. It takes some application, some blending, some looking back for a second, going back in. I always recommend that clients practice brand new makeup techniques and colors in the evening. You're going to wash your face anyway before you go to bed. You may as well try out something bold like a smoky eye, a blue eyeshadow at night when you're watching Netflix in the other room. Don't try this for the first time 9 a.m. when you have like a day full of Zoom meetings and you can't get out of them. This is not the time for that. I'm taking the Silky French Blue and just sweeping it on the lashes here. I'm really going only like a third of the way into the eye, just like this. Okay, the fallout is driving me crazy and distracting me from the task at hand. I'm going into my Chantecaille Stress Repair Concentrate. This is a sample. Use a sample of eye cream, eye mask, eye serum, whatever, and just clean this up with a Q-tip. Now we're going into Guerlain. This is the Mystic Peacock palette, and I'm going into this beautiful cobalt blue up here. And I am patting this on top of my Sisley Silky French Blue. Tap, 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 and pat, pat, pat. It isn't done. I know, it still has work to do, but we're going to move on to a liner and mascara. I'm using my Chanel waterproof liner in black, and then I'm going into a mascara base and black mascara combo, and I'll be back in a second. Let's move on to foundation. For this type of look, you do need a heavier foundation base, just a light tinted moisturizer. You need something that's going to balance this whole look. I'm going into my new Dior Capture Total Serum Foundation. It's really lovely. I've done a whole dedicated review to this one here, and I am the shade 3N, I believe. Yes, 3N. And I do like a light, no makeup look, but if you're wearing blue eyeshadow, the jig is up. You can tell that you're wearing makeup. So do go into a foundation that's a bit heavier, maybe more of a medium coverage. This one here is really nice. It's very moisturizing. It's very hydrating. It also has a lot of skincare benefits in it. So it's really lovely overall. But yeah, this is not the time for just a little water fresh tint action. Moving on to the concealer, I'm going into the new Givenchy Prisme Libre concealer. This is the shade C305. I am testing this now. I'm doing wear tests on the side. Let me know if you'd like to see a review of this soon. So I'm going pretty heavy with this here. Both sides here on the inside to brighten, and then a little bit on the outside to lift, and a little bit everywhere else to correct. Now let's go into a bit of powder too, just to set this whole look. I'm going into my Chanel loose powder in 30 here. This is a good shade match for me. Just going to puff, 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 and use the actual puff that comes with, because it just feels very extra to do my makeup with a puff that says Chanel. For the blush, I'm going into my new Fantaisie de Chanel Illuminating Blush. This is a beautiful fuchsia pink, and I think pink will look nice with this blue shadow. And as you can tell, I have been dipping into this a lot. It's been swirled about quite a bit, so I'm just adding a little bit. We are reaching the end of the look. We're going into a bit of highlighter. This is the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Beaming Blush. Technically, you'll find this in the blush section. It is not a blush, it's a highlighter. It's a beautiful rose gold, and I'm going to add a little bit on top of my blush. I don't think it needs it, but I want to mix this rose gold here on my face because I'm going to use it on my eyes as well. So going in with a little pencil brush like this, just swirling around. It's really just a gorgeous champagne rose gold color. I'm going on the inner corner here, on the tear duct, just like this, just to highlight. So even if you did bring your blue eyeshadow into the corner, that's okay. You can just add some of this over top just to highlight. And then we're going to take a little bit under the brow bone right here. My lips don't have any lipstick or lip liner. It's just this from before that I used. So I'm going to add a gloss here. This is the NARS Afterglow Chelsea Girls Liquid lip gloss here, and this is just the perfect nude. I do definitely want a nude lip because it just adds more balance to the look here. And in order to complete our look, to finish the look, we have to go into a fragrance. Now, this is a pretty bold look. I think it requires a bold perfume. I am going into my Guerlain, Mon Guerlain. It's a very sweet, gourmand, caramel, vanilla, decadent, delicious perfume. I think this is the type of fragrance you need. Honestly, if you want to wear Alien, go ahead. You know, this is not something for like a light little a clean smelling perfume, you need to own this look. Like, you can't let the eyeshadow wear you. You have to wear the eyeshadow. So you need a perfume that's going to draw attention, just like your eyeshadow. So anyway, this is the finished look. This is my take on my signature luxury blue eyeshadow look. If you made it this far into the video, leave a little blue heart emoji. You know the drill. And yeah, this was a lot of fun to do. I hope you got some inspiration on how to use up what you have at home. Don't be scared. I know blue eyeshadow can be intimidating, but you have to make sure that you wear the blue eyeshadow and that the blue eyeshadow doesn't wear you. Yeah, that's why I think a more gourmand or heavy perfume is important. That way you sort of just command attention with your posture, with your perfume, with your eyeshadow. And that's all I have for you guys for today. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're new to my channel, I talk a lot about luxury beauty. I have an affinity for French makeup brands, so if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, make sure you subscribe. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.